The discovery was an accident. Dr. Elena Morrow, lead archaeologist of the Europa Initiative, had been studying ice samples on the frozen moon when her team's scanners picked up something unusual, an impossibly geometric structure buried deep beneath the surface. At first, they thought it was a glitch in the system. But as the scans repeated the same results, the team knew they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. Within days, an excavation crew was dispatched, drilling through miles of ice to reveal the artifact. When the first fragment came into view, silence fell over the control room. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. The structure was immense, crafted from a silvery material that shimmered faintly under the artificial light. Its design was both chaotic and orderly, a contradiction that teased at an intelligence far beyond human comprehension. Elena stepped closer, her breath fogging the glass of her helmet. This isn't natural," she whispered, her voice barely audible through the radio. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Jonah Keene, studied the structure with a soldier's wary eye. "It's not human either," he said. His grip tightened on his weapon, the weight of the unknown settling heavily on his shoulders. #### the artifact's features. As the team explored, they catalogued every detail, intricate carvings that seemed to shift when viewed from different angles, conduits that hummed with a faint but steady energy, and a central spire that stretched impossibly high into the icy cavern. The markings on the walls resembled a language, but no known algorithm could decode it. What kind of species could create something like this? Elena mused, running her gloved hand over a glowing panel. Keene's voice was firm. "The kind that might come back for it. We need to be careful." But the artifact showed no signs of activity. The energy readings were stable, almost dormant, as if it had been abandoned long ago. The question wasn't just who had made it, but why they had left it behind. #### the world reacts. News of the discovery leaked within weeks, sparking a global frenzy. Nations vied for a stake in the artifact, offering resources, funding, and political leverage. It was declared a treasure of humanity, but beneath the surface, tensions simmered. Elena found herself thrust into the spotlight, reluctantly becoming the face of the project. She had always preferred the solitude of her work, but now she was fielding questions from world leaders and media outlets. "This isn't just an archaeological find," she told them during a press conference. "It's a message. Whoever left this behind wanted it to be found." But not everyone agreed. Some feared the artifact, calling it a harbinger of doom. Others saw it as an opportunity to exploit advanced technology. The debates raged, but one thing was clear: humanity was at a crossroads. #### conflict and determination. Back at the excavation site, tensions within the team mirrored the chaos outside. Keene, ever the pragmatist, argued for caution. "We don't know what we're dealing with," he said, pacing the control room. "This could be a trap. Or worse." Elena refused to back down. "If we let fear dictate our actions, we'll never grow. This artifact could teach us things we've never imagined." Their arguments were interrupted when one of the engineers burst into the room. "Dr. Morrow, you need to see this." In the depths of the artifact, a new chamber had been uncovered. Unlike the rest, this room was pristine, untouched by time. At its center stood a pedestal, glowing faintly. Elena approached cautiously, her heart pounding. As she reached out, the glow intensified, and the artifact emitted a low hum that reverberated through the cavern. "What did you do?" Keene shouted, his weapon at the ready. Elena turned, her face pale but resolute. "I think it's waking up." The room plunged into silence, the weight of her words hanging heavy. Whatever they had found was no longer dormant, and there was no turning back. The artifact had awakened, but not in the way anyone expected. Rather than unleashing destruction or revealing alien life, it had projected a series of holographic images, a blueprint, incomplete and fragmented. The images hinted at the artifact's original purpose, though their meaning remained maddeningly elusive. To Elena Morrow, it was both a challenge and a calling. "This is an invitation," Elena said, addressing a global consortium of scientists, engineers, and world leaders via hologram. Her voice carried the weight of conviction. "Whoever created this left us a path to follow. If we can rebuild it, perhaps we can understand them, and ourselves." But not everyone shared her optimism. "This isn't a puzzle," argued Lieutenant Jonah Keene, now appointed as the project's head of security. "It's a trap. We're meddling with something we barely understand." The room fell silent as the two opposing forces clashed. The conflict wasn't just between Elena and Keene, it reflected the broader struggle within humanity itself. Could they afford to risk everything for knowledge? Or was the price of curiosity too high? #### the restoration begins. Despite the debate, the project moved forward. The artifact was transported to an advanced research facility orbiting Earth, its fragmented holograms painstakingly studied by a global team of experts. Elena spearheaded the restoration effort, assembling a team that included linguists to decode the alien markings, engineers to replicate the structure, and even artists to interpret its aesthetics. Months turned into years as the team worked tirelessly. Every new discovery brought them closer to understanding the artifact's original purpose, but it also revealed the staggering complexity of its creators. The alien technology operated on principles that defied human physics, forcing the team to think beyond conventional boundaries. One night, Elena stood before the artifact, now partially restored. Its intricate patterns glowed faintly, as though responding to their efforts. Keen approached her, his expression unreadable. "You really think this will work?" he asked. "I have to believe it will," she replied. "This isn't just about them. It's about proving what we're capable of." Keen's gaze lingered on the artifact. "Let's hope they see it the same way." ####human innovation. As the restoration neared completion, the team began to incorporate their own designs. Some modifications were practical, replacing alien components with human-made equivalents. Others were artistic, blending Earth's cultures into the artifact's structure. "This isn't just their masterpiece anymore," Elena said during a briefing. "It's ours too. A symbol of what humanity can achieve." But not everyone agreed. Purists within the team argued that any modification was a betrayal of the artifact's original intent. Tensions flared as debates grew more heated. "We can't just remake it in our image," one scientist protested. "We have no right. If we don't, it'll remain incomplete," Elena countered. "This is about collaboration, between us and them." The conflict reached a breaking point when a critical decision had to be made about the central spire, the artifact's most enigmatic feature. The team couldn't decipher its function, but leaving it untouched meant the structure would remain inert. Elena decided to activate it, using a hybrid system that combined alien technology with human innovation. ###completion and revelation. The day finally came when the masterpiece was unveiled. The artifact stood fully restored, its alien design seamlessly integrated with human ingenuity. Lights danced across its surface, and the central spire pulsed with energy, emitting a soft, harmonious tone. The team gathered in silence, their gazes fixed on the artifact. For a moment, the years of toil, conflict, and sacrifice felt worth it. But as Elena stepped forward to address her team, the artifact emitted a sudden burst of light. A series of new holograms appeared, more intricate and vivid than before. They depicted not just alien designs, but humanity's contributions as well, a fusion of two worlds. Keen's hand moved instinctively to his weapon. "What's happening?" Elena's eyes widened as the holograms began to shift, forming what appeared to be a message. "It's responding," she whispered. "To us." The artifact's tone deepened, resonating through the facility. For the first time, it felt alive, aware of what had been done. And then the lights dimmed, leaving the team in stunned silence. Elena turned to Keen, her expression a mix of awe and determination. "This is only the beginning." The artifact's activation sent ripples across the stars. For weeks, its glowing spire transmitted signals beyond human comprehension, a beacon that reached into the void. At first, the project team thought it was broadcasting a final message from its creators. But then, the ships arrived. It began with an unidentifiable distortion in space near Earth's orbit. Sensors picked up massive objects approaching, their energy signatures unlike anything humanity had ever seen. The world watched in stunned silence as three colossal vessels emerged, sleek and luminous, hovering just beyond the atmosphere. "Is it them?" Keen asked, his voice tense as he stood beside Elena in the facility's control room. Elena's breath caught in her throat. "It has to be. #### the aliens arrive." The vessels didn't attack, nor did they communicate immediately. Instead, one dispatched a smaller craft that descended directly toward the orbital research station. As it approached, the artifact pulsed in response, its tones harmonizing with the approaching vessel. The smaller ship docked seamlessly with the facility, and the airlock opened. Out stepped the beings who had created the artifact. They were tall, their forms sleek and otherworldly, with translucent skin that shimmered in hues of silver and blue. Their movements were graceful, almost fluid, and their eyes, large and luminous, seemed to pierce through everything they saw. The room froze as the aliens stepped forward. Elena, her heart pounding, moved to greet them. "Do you think they're hostile?" Keen whispered, his hand hovering near his sidearm. Elena shook her head. "We're about to find out." ### the encounter. The aliens didn't speak, but the artifact did. It projected a series of holographic symbols and images, creating a bridge between the two species. One of the aliens stepped forward, studying the restored structure with a mixture of curiosity and what could only be described as approval. Elena took a step closer, holding up her hands in a gesture of peace. "We didn't mean to intrude," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "We found your creation and we tried to restore it. To honor it." The alien turned to her, its gaze unreadable. A soft hum emanated from its body, and the artifact translated. "You altered it." The words hung in the air, a statement rather than an accusation. Elena hesitated, unsure how to respond. "We didn't understand everything," she admitted. "But we wanted to complete it. We thought it deserved to live again." The alien tilted its head, and new holograms appeared, detailed projections of the changes humanity had made. The alien's companions gathered around, studying the modifications. Keen, ever cautious, murmured, "This is where they judge us." ####, the alien response. Finally, the lead alien turned back to the team, the artifact projecting its translated thoughts. "You have preserved what you could not understand. And you have added what we did not anticipate. It is acceptable." Relief washed over the room, but the alien continued. This structure was not merely a creation. It was a test. Elena's eyes widened. A test? The alien gestured toward the artifact, which began displaying images of thriving civilizations, ruined worlds, and a singular pattern: those who preserved and innovated survived. "We left it to see if those who followed could learn to build, not destroy. You have done both. It is enough." The statement carried both praise and warning. Humanity had passed, but just barely. ###, a new beginning. The aliens stepped forward, placing their hands on the artifact's central spire. Its glow intensified, and a final hologram appeared, a star map with coordinates marked in vivid detail. Elena's voice broke the silence. "What is this?" The alien's response was clear. An invitation. Keen's skepticism flared. An invitation to what? A partnership? Or something worse? The alien's gaze lingered on him, then shifted back to Elena. Without another word, they returned to their vessel. As quickly as they had come, the ships disappeared, leaving only the artifact's soft hum and the map's coordinates etched in the minds of everyone present. Elena turned to her team, determination in her eyes. "We've been given a chance. A chance to prove ourselves." Keen frowned. "Or a chance to fail again." The artifact pulsed gently, as if urging them forward. Whatever lay at the coordinates, humanity had a choice to make, and this time, the stakes were higher than ever.